Pearsall. Here. Hutton. Here. Mendoza.
Here.
McDonald.
Here.
Leahy. Here. Russell.
Here.
30 people present.
Speakers? Melissa?
I'm Sarah Fassbinder, team leader with MSA. This is Connor Peterson, project engineer with MSA. Would you like me at the podium or? Yes?
If you'd like.
Okay. No problem. So I'd just like to start by thanking the village for inviting us to be here at the meeting to speak further on your wastewater treatment facility project. Give me a microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not a loud person. I'm trying to project. So I guess some history. MSA has written a project plan on the village's behalf and submitted to the Illinois EPA in November. And we presented a design contract to move forward with the proposed recommendations for a new wastewater treatment facility, also in November. That contract was approved, but then the village just wanted to think on it, engaged a third party, another wastewater professional, to do a review of MSA's project plan. Understandably so, that document is large and cumbersome, and if you're not a wastewater professional, it is really boring material. So we did receive comments back on the project plan either last week or the week prior. Based on the recommendations received from that third-party wastewater professional, they're very aligned in what they're recommending in terms of a treatment facility. I think the major question was, do we really need a new facility, or can we potentially rehabilitate the existing? And I think that question was answered. A new facility is recommended by both wastewater professionals. There were some ideas in the memo that the third-party wastewater professional provided, and we met with some representatives of the village to discuss those last week in person. But then we did provide just a written overview of our discussion. If anyone is interested in going into more detail on some of those ideas, I'd be happy to do that with you.
So with some of the things that they said we could possibly save on, do you not recommend those things?
So I would say that the project plan is very conceptual. It is all meant to be very high level and put together a path forward with an implementation schedule and some type of budgetary number that the village can help move forward into the next step, which is design and applying for funding. So as we get into design, we will definitely be diving deeper into all these different components. There's 1 day of wastewater plant tours included in our contract. And that's a great way to visit other plants and get a this or that, get the operator's opinion about what they really enjoy about this particular piece of equipment, etc. Some of the ideas for cost savings were grit removal. Grit removal is not a requirement, but it is awful nice to have a mechanical piece of equipment that's removing grit in your process. It just augers it into a dumpster it makes it a lot easier for the operator. Alternatively, if you choose not to do dirt removal, that means your operator is having to empty tanks and hopefully back it out, but sometimes, as we talked in our meeting last week, that material can pack in there, so it's like really difficult to remove. You're gonna be in there scraping with shovels. So those are all detailed design considerations that we're prepared to help you through and make decisions on. Some of the other ideas were like eliminating the equalization tank that's proposed. In peak flow, and when the river is up, it's our understanding that the village is bypassing continuously. So much so that it's hard to even put a number to that. It's just continual bypass flow. I have yet to meet a IEPA review engineer who says it's okay just to treat your normal flows and we don't have to treat those peak flows. They're going to want you to treat as much wastewater as possible that's coming to you.
So when you're saying bypass, you're saying we need to pump it to the river. Raw sewage, pump to the river.
So we still do recommend that equalization tank. We're sizing it just as large as we possibly can for the site constraints that we have.
Do you know what other sewer plants do that are on the river if they get flooded?
Yeah, equalization tanks are very common.
I mean, around here, do you know if they do that or do they pump to the river?
I mean, it's a common issue. Every system has clear water coming in and chlorine filtration coming into the system. So you're not alone, for sure. You're not alone. And there is within our design contract, we discussed doing some sanitary sewer rehab in those flood-prone areas to try and reduce the amount of clear water that was coming into your system. But that's not going to make a large enough impact to completely eliminate the need for the equalization tank.
And is there a cap on how much help we can get? Like with grants and forgiveness, and is there a cap on what we can get?
So there are various funding sources in on the sheet. It just gives a summary of the SRF. So the state revolving fund loan has, so the village of Albany is eligible for 30% principal forgiveness, which is what's shown in the green boxes on the right. So it is capped at 5 million, but with the 14.6 million project, you're eligible for like $4.4 million in principal forgiveness.
So if you would get some grants and some forgiveness on the loans, then what if like Eric Sorensen came and said, oh, we can give you some more help, blah, 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 we can't use it because we've hit 30%?
No, those would be different funding sources. I'm talking just for SRF, you're looking at 30% loan forgiveness eligibility. But definitely, we want to look for any grant opportunities that are out there. So yeah, the Eric Sorensen one was one that we discussed last week. Currently the village is not income eligible for CDBG grants, but you could pursue a village-wide income survey to try to become eligible. You need to be 51% below the moderate income to qualify for that.
What was that called?
CDBG, Community Development Block Grant.
But to do what? To get the income of the village was called something?
Just a community income survey.
When we completed the preliminary facility plan, the median household income was 38.1% low to moderate income. So you would have to have a 12% increase in low to moderate income to reach that 50%.
I'll just give Pritzker time, we'll get there.
Sure. One other note, you mentioned the Eric Sorensen funding opportunity. I spoke with our funding administrator, Kara Walters, this morning about that. That's something that you could actually pursue on the village's behalf. Essentially, you need to organize a meeting with his office to give information about the project, general funding, guidelines, just information about where the village stands and the proposed plans. Then they will go through the process of ranking how that funding is distributed. I think it's somewhere between $26 and $33 million that they're dispersing throughout the region for water and sewer projects specifically.
Was there a certain time frame that they're doing that? Have we missed the boat and have to wait, or?
I know that they're currently soliciting inquiries for that funding source.
That's a lot of money. I'm assuming that's going to be a very competitive grant.
It will be very competitive, yes.
My question was on the effluent pumping station. I'm assuming based on the verbiage here, you guys are basically saying that if we choose to go with the gravity route, we're probably going to be at or more with what we'll have to do to build the plant up to utilize gravity instead of using the effluent pumping station.
Right, so the need for that effluent pumping station is really only gonna be a couple months of the year, month or two out of the year, when the hydraulic profile doesn't work by gravity because the river's up, then you're gonna need to pump. In our conceptual plan, we're already calling for a 5-foot retaining wall. I mean, it is possible to get everything to go by gravity in the flood lines, so that means you have to raise the entire site.
Okay.
Which means then your ground slopes go out this way, and we have a very small site to work with already. So that means you're just building taller retaining walls, and I think that would offset the expense of the effluent pump station.
Okay. Thank you.
Could we even do that in the floodplain? Not supposed to build up.
Yeah, we're building in the floodway, which triggers multiple additional requirements. So in our design contract, we have a floodplain model included. We need to prove that we're not raising the base flood elevation of the Mississippi River.
So to your point, raising it even more than what we're proposing may trigger further permitting restrictions as another reason why the effluent pumping station is probably the preferred alternative.
Great questions. Just keep them coming. Like, that's what we're here for.
No. I think
It's
that's
like the reed beds is basically kind of whatever we want to do type situation.
Yeah, so what we heard during our project planning effort from the operators, like, we're having a hard time figuring out where to go with the sludge anymore because the farmers are not as willing to take it, you know? And so the current drying beds, it's like an annual thing. You have to clean those out, find a place for the sludge, whereas we're proposing the rebeds because you only have to clean this out every 8 years. So it's really a pretty small process for the operator. So that's the benefit there. But everything has cost benefit, and as we go, it'll be a very collaborative experience and talking to the village about which direction you want to go.
Nick, as the operator, do you have any questions or input on this?
I think I got most of them answered at the meeting.
Okay.
I agree with the hydraulic profile, but we'll only be doing that during high water, so it seems out of place to build it up that high, just so we don't have to run some pumps. I understand the pumps have to exist to begin with to run it, but I think overall, it's a better idea to just run the pumps during high water. So.
Okay, well, we will stick around, for the action item in case there's further discussion and ways that we can help. Happy to answer any other questions. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Police Department representative, Police Department.
Yeah, so the Traffic Commission, Jack, Tim, and I have decided to remove the 10-minute parking sign closest to 84 to help with the parking issue over there. Also, where we had removed that stop sign on Church, we'd like to replace the stop sign we removed with a slow children at play, some sort of warning about children being in the area to slow down.
Good idea.
Yep, that's it.
Go down to maintenance. Nick, you have anything?
Yeah, I do. So I've been here about 7.5 months now, and basically since the third day I was here, which was my first meeting, I was interrogated in closed session by Trustee Hutton, of course. Let's fast forward a little bit to the night we voted to hire David. After the meeting, she pulled David aside and told him it's nothing personal, we just don't have the money to pay you. Then the next morning, she tracked Mitch down while he was doing rounds and told him she was sorry we hired someone. That's what I got from Mitch. There have been instances of her calling Mitch directly when we have a power outage. There is a constant audit going on my timesheets and my finances both, and I've got those in great order right here. I even built my own budget tracker if anyone wants to take a look. We are doing exactly what we said we would do. We had a water leak on Friday. We got in there, we got it done. We're not violating anything, handbook-wise or time card-wise, and if we are, bring it to my attention and it'll be corrected. I've said this 100 times. At least 4 of you sitting around this table have mentioned to me personally that it is personal with her. I think Chief would agree that it has been, some things have been personal, and it is at least very much exclusively me.
Yeah, if I was in your position, I would have resigned. I wouldn't, no way. There's no quality of life when you come to work and get scrutinized.
So I'm asking the board and the mayor to act on this and figure something out. For my next move is to call the Illinois Department of Labor tomorrow and a lawyer.
Thanks, Nick.
No, I can research that whole issue. It's not that simple.
Schedule. Drops out. Run the office. President. I'd like to discuss, take action to hire Mitch Swanson as the new sexton and give him $1.50 raise for doing it, for signing off on the burial certificate. We have no one to sign off on them, and they're not allowed to get death certificates or anything without somebody signing off on the burial.
I hate to ask this, but is there any reason that that you didn't talk to me, since I'm over cemeteries?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Since I'm the committee chairperson, is there a reason why you didn't talk to me about it?
No, because I point Sexton in the book, so. I'll do it.
If you put the name in and then the board.
Can we, so you want to give him $1.50 an hour?
Because he has to sign the certificate of the burial,
Okay,
and he's got to locate them anyhow,
right.
so I want to give him something for it.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we talked about this before, how they paid a certain amount of, like $50 or $75 per locate. So
And
he's gonna be doing the paperwork also? Okay.
And he'll do cemetery cleanup.
Pardon?
Cemetery cleanup is part of that.
I mean, you don't have anything on what we're going to pay on the agenda. We can certainly appoint him as a sexton, that's here. You don't have anything in regards to what we're going to pay him. Next meeting.
Go ahead.
But your second section just says the president puts in a name and the board has to approve it by majority vote. And
Okay.
be considered the sexton.
Got it.
And then you'll have to next meeting determine how you pay him.
Okay.
So you can pay him extra as for the job, so he gets extra per hour, or you could just pay him specifically for doing sexton work.
And that would have to be done not during work hours.
That'd be up to you guys. You guys would set the rules.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna pay them separately, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, there's some I know that would have their job and then they got paid when they did some sexton work too. But that's, you'll have to set the rules.
Okay.
Brian, we're just appointing the sexton, correct?
But you can make a motion to compensation be determined.
Yeah, I got
A motion by Mendoza to appoint Mitch Swanson as sexton for the village of Albany. A second.
I'll second.
I would suggest you put compensation determined, with compensation to be determined.
I have a motion by Mendoza to appoint Mitch Swanson as sexton for the village of Albany with compensation to be determined. Second.
I'll still second.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Motion carried. Next is discuss take action on MSA's professional service agreement for the wastewater treatment facility.
Do we have a loan secured for that? Do we have a loan secured for that?
No, we have to apply for the SRF loan, correct? All we have to do is still go through all of this stuff.
Yes, so the village will need interim financing to pay for the planning and design efforts. Then once the ASRF construction loan is in place, you can roll that into ASRF construction loan for repayment. The only thing that we discussed was, so MSA put together a National Rural Water Association loan application on the village's behalf, and that's all ready, and just requires village signatures, but that would be a $200,000 loan for 10 years at about 3%.
Aaron, did you talk to that person,
Two.
Willis, in office?
I didn't get any,
Did you try him again?
anything else back. So I feel like we're kind of at the crossroads here. Like, we took the time to reach out to Fairgrand and have them come and do their analysis. So I think we need to figure out, they offered in the email they sent, in regards to the meeting that MSA had with these guys, with whoever was involved, Justin, Nick. So do we want Fairgrand to fair a proposal to see what they come up with? Before we just, I mean,
I would say.
we took the time to have them come here and they offered to do a proposal, so
And what cost?
I have no idea. That's what I'm.
We've got enough invested right now in MSA that I think if we go.
I don't think we should pull the trigger until we have our finances in order.
Right. I hear that. I'm just asking, I mean, are we going?
Find out how much they cost.
MSA or Fairgrand? Like, I thought that was the whole point of reaching out, was to get the analysis.
Find out how much it would cost for them to come up with a proposal.
Okay.
And see if they have any, you know, hard line to some grants or something that they can.
They have the same grants as MSA has.
Yeah, their
And they've
verbiage
already said the same
is the
thing.
same exact thing as MSA said.
Okay.
How much have they invested with MSA so far?
20-some thousand, isn't it? Just this, I believe. I'm not exactly sure on what
And right now with.
the exact amount was.
And with Fairground, we haven't had anything, just their time.
Correct.
What was the 20,000 for?
That was the analysis, right?
And
So the
Fairground did it.
previous board voted on.
We have no
for the
money in the
analysis.
Fairground
Fairground did it for
at all
nothing.
right now. Nothing they've done has cost us any money as far as I know, unless I'm mistaken.
No, I don't think so.
I think everything they've done has been pure courtesy.
And it was just an opinion.
And it was just that they literally came in and did exactly what we asked them to. They came in and did their,
Well, why was that 20,000 then?
that was a full-blown analysis for where we ended up with what MSA suggested. And I believe in the verbiage, Fairgrand said that they wouldn't have to do an analysis. They could prepare a proposal if we want them to. They did not yet. I don't think they would charge us to do a proposal.
Can you find out?
Yeah, I can call in here and ask him. I mean, am I wrong? Do you guys charge to prepare a proposal?
Typically, we do not.
You do not, okay.
I imagine Fairground would probably give a proposal.
Okay.
One thing that I would just point out, obviously, you know my bias, being with MSA,
Sure.
is the proposal that we offered, that that Sarah has described, describes the scope of services from the information we have collected from the facility plan analysis. And that number is out there for anybody to see. We have information from our facility plan and documents and calculations that we've been working on in the back end that we believe give us an advantage and additional information and relationships with the board that we believe we can move forward with this project in a very positive way. And because our number is out there, I would just caution that many other engineering firms can say, I can do it for $5 cheaper, I can do it for $10 cheaper. But you have to ask yourselves whether the quality of service and the quality of the deliverable will be the same. And just because they can say a lower number does not necessarily indicate that.
And if we went with you, would you forgive that 20,000 that we've spent already?
That was
I think it might be 14 or 8. I can't remember the exact
The
number.
project plan was more than 20,000, but what we're paying for is the report that we wrote and which we submitted to the EPA. But since that report was submitted, MSA has come to a lot of meetings, we've had a lot of discussions. We've spent a lot of time and energy developing a contract, just a contract of this magnitude. I've said it before, but it involves every single team within MSA, so our structural, architectural, our survey crew, our electrical, mechanical, plumbers, everybody who's involved in projects like this that have buildings.
But you're also asking each person in this room to pay up to maybe $77 more a month on their bill.
But that doesn't take away from what they put into it.
No, I'm just saying, I get what you put into it, but you're asking me to have my bill go up $77. Yeah,
Unfortunately, the past boards have been kicking this can down the road,
yeah,
and here we are.
yeah.
We gotta act on something. I'm not saying this is what we have to do right now, but it is on us.
I can't give that much plaza, every plasma center won't let me do that, so I would have to, as well as probably quite a few other elderly people.
So, I don't know if this will help, but prior to this meeting, Connor and I looked at the user rate analysis and really, okay, so what if we eliminated grit removal and reduced the total cost by $400,000? How would that impact your monthly user rates? It shook out to about $2 per month per user. So my point being that penny pinching, every little dollar helps, but at the end of the day, it's sort of minimal. This is a product substantially in ways like this.
I mean, the plan needs to be done. I'm not saying this to push or anything. I'm saying, what if we get a plan? We can ask her, right? What if they come in $1 million cheaper? What's $1 million going to break down to? We're still looking at a substantial increase. I mean, I don't know who has an answer for that. I mean, two companies have said the plan needs to be redone. I just don't know where we're going to end up. It's going to be an increase no matter what we do. We just need to figure out what we're going to go with.
What if it's not the $77? What if it's $133 per person, per household?
I don't have that answer.
Where are we gonna land?
That's why I'm saying we need to.
The town full of empty houses.
May I just offer a quick point of clarification? The user rate analysis assumes the entire project cost for engineering and the wastewater treatment facility. Our contract involves designing the wastewater treatment facility and getting to that final cost. So it may be 14.6, it may be 14.4, 14.2. If you request proposals from a separate engineering company, they may not necessarily give you a high-level cost of what the entire project will cost. They will give you a proposal for what their design services will cost. Maybe they would also give you a high-level cost if you requested that, but just a point of clarification.
So we're going to move on with this, call Perry in tomorrow and ask him for a proposal? And then,
And we need to get with Barb Franz.
That's coming up shortly here.
do you have any idea how that Eric Sorensen grant would shake out? Like even the slightest clue if we did get it?
I don't know what the timeline is for that. So we'd have to look at it.
It sounds
but-
like the sooner the better.
Well, yeah, I'm just being competitive and wondering how many hands are in that pot and how much
Probably quite a few.
it'll break down to.
Right.
Well, didn't you say the more organized we were, the higher up the list we'd be?
Right, like definitely for the RF grant source or any grant source, you get more points, more priority points, more you show readiness. So if you have a design ready to be submitted, if you have a construction permit in the IEPA, you're gonna get more points than your grant applications. Do you have a municipal advisor or financial advisor that you're with? Okay, would you like a contact?
I thought Tara was gonna give us some names and,
Yeah, we highly recommend for your financial, we work with that very often.
okay.
Anthony Maselli is the contact for Illinois, so we can pass along his information as well. He could potentially help you strategize, and I know there's been some talk about doing like a grant rate structure.
So if we got this 38% and then we get Eric Sorensen, then this could be much lower impact on people, correct?
If we could get the
If we can
grant.
find a grant.
Potentially.
Could be an increase in putting together a new plan.
Well, I'm hoping that's $77.
Of course.
How much?
Well, this is something too, the village is 190 years old, and they've only had one shot at a plant in 1961 to build it. So this doesn't happen all the time. This is almost a once in our lifetime.
Well, yes, it will be going, but
So that's something to think about, all those years it served us well. You got the property for $1, so.
And there was no way to make it any smaller or anything?
No. We're pretty confident in our recommendations. The business hub flow analysis with some modest growth factored in.
Okay, so we close out these topics with colleagues tomorrow and see what they say.
Okay.
And then have these guys come back one more time for
I
a
think we
final.
need to get on them to expedite though, because we're just, as we found out with the marina as well, the longer we
Yeah,
wait,
what's the-
prices
is there-
just keep going up.
Timeline with this at all? Like, where are we at with this, with a timeline?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the longer you wait, the more expensive things are going to get. I mean, the schedule that we're proposing is just intended to get you best position for funding. So the funding applications go in March of next year. So if you have a design ready, you're going to have more plans for that. You actually get the EPA to review and issue a construction permit. By the time that SRF loan application goes in, you're going to get more plans for that.
So when would our bills be going up that much? After it's built, or once we vote yes and then you start the ball rolling, does my bill go up like that?
So you don't have to, it's when construction is completed and the SRF loan is closed out is when you start.
And how long is construction?
2 years for
2,
construction.
3 years.
And I will say in regards to Fair Grant, if you guys didn't see that email from Lucas, their timeline is further out than these guys are.
I was just wondering how long.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying their timeline is further down the road, so I have to get it verified. But when I sent to you guys has the date in there, their estimated date
Okay.
is further down the road than these guys.
Well, I think the big thing is if we can get Eric Sorensen on board, that would alleviate a lot of money problems. And Barb seems to be very helpful with that.
Yeah, we've got the project plans, you should just be able to snip right out of the project plan, you know, the need for the project, the history,
Show one.
all
Yeah, give them a
documented.
nice little story, yeah, we need one. One of West County, an old rambler down there.
Right.
So
So when
Sarah,
you guys figure the average income per household, you just take everybody's and then divide it up, or how does that work?
So that's published.
Fair Grant also concurred with them about that. We don't qualify for the low income according to them either. That was in the bottom of that email too. Sarah, you said when you plugged it in, you said $400,000 off of that price was, you said like an average of $2 a month?
Yeah, if you looked at the 40-year.
Okay.
There's lots of decisions when you get there. I mean, if you look at that table, you're paying a significant amount of interest by extending the loan on that far, so. Yeah, once we have some, you know, we wait until after project bidding is when you actually take that SRF loan application. So you're using the real bid numbers at that point. And that's when the decisions come in, how long we're gonna, what kind of term you'd like to pursue long term.
So, I mean, let's say theoretically, we were to get $2 million of money from that Erickson Sorensen grant. Realistically, we're looking at $10 a month less of an increase essentially, based on the figure you gave? I mean, approximately.
So $67? How much does it cost to put in a septic tank? Because not everybody's on our sewer system. We already have some septic in town.
Hey, what's the
So it
number
is a
on
lot.
that, by the way?
Yeah,
Anybody-
what is the number?
What is the number of houses? Anybody got that number?
That's on sewer,
The ones that aren't on sewer in city limits?
stone and water, that I don't know.
I know when we built, the cost to get sewer over on that side was right 500,000, or it was something unreal, so which why is why it never happened.
So you're on
I had a septic.
septic and then you down, right, the septic, and then stone is septic. But I don't know if anybody else in town is septic other than outliers.
I doubt it.
Danny, do you know?
There's a few.
Okay,
Danny Gooch is one of them,
okay.
because the sewer doesn't, anytime sewer doesn't run past the property, they have to be hooked up to it.
Thank you. I think that's about it for that then. I'll call Edgar Mendoza tomorrow, early, and see if they can make it quick. Try to expedite it along.
See if you can get a friends and family.
I'm not related somewhere, but, yeah, I'll give him a call in the morning, and then somebody will be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
I don't have Edgar's number, if anybody else wants to do it, I'm just trying to help out, so if anybody else wants to do it, it's up to you guys. Jack wants to call, he can call, I mean, it doesn't have to be me.
Well, he seems to know you, he seems to remember the name pretty good.
I get that part.
I wrote my motions up if anybody wants to do them. Approve December 10th meeting is my first one.
I'll do 10. Anyone else want to write the name?
It's a part.
Easy one.
That doesn't matter.
I have a motion by Mendoza to approve December 10th meeting minutes. Second.
I'll second.
Brazel,
Yes.
Bearsall,
Yes. Oh, wait, no, that's eight.
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't have.
Leahy,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
and McDonald.
Thank you.
Sure.
And then,
Thanks, Beth.
that was,
Have a good night, Connor. Sarah, thank you.
I have a motion by Hudson to approve January 5th closed session meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Brazel,
Yes.
I have a motion by Mendoza to approve January 20th regular meeting minutes. Second.
Second.
Brazel,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Abstain.
Leahy,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Have a motion by Casal to approve January 20th closed session meeting minutes. Second.
Second.
McDonald,
Yes.
Steffen,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Abstain.
Pearsall. Yes. Brazel.
Yes.
Dolly.
Finance.
We discussed raising the water rates. I know it was brought up before about raising it up to $60, but I don't think we need to do that to our townspeople.
Is this water?
Yes.
Just
Sewer
water,
went up-
water and sewer.
Sewer went up the last time.
Okay.
Last meeting.
Did we have to do an ordinance for that too?
You have to do an ordinance to raise the water and sewer.
Oh,
I have a draft ordinance, but I don't know how much you want to raise it to.
For what, the sewer or the
The
water?
water.
Did you get the one, did you do the one for sewer?
I did a draft. Again, I don't know what, right now you have the first 33,000 gallons is $36.85 and then $7 per thousand gallons after that. And then non-beneficial users is the same. Need a number.
I think we should raise it 20%, $7.37
For water?
for water.
And what did you raise?
I think we went
Sewer.
for 95.
I thought it was 400.
So what is the first 3,000 gallons?
I
36.
think those stay, it's just the base rate would go up 20%.
So 7 what?
Well, the base, well, you got two rates. You got a base rate, the first 3,000 gallons, and then you got so much per gallon thereafter. So it's $36.85 for the first three,
Yeah. And add 20% onto that.
plus 20%. And then the $7 per thousand is $7.37?
That would be, how much is it per after that?
It's $7 right now, per thousand gallons.
So that could stay.
So-
That doesn't have to change.
Okay,
We just think the base rate should go up 20%.
20%.
And that's 737?
Mhm.
Oh, that's where you get 7%. Okay, so yeah, I can have that. And when do you want it to start? So you're gonna
Well,
pass it?
everybody's got to just agree on it, or we got to go on.
But I'll put in the ordinance, guy, a commencement date. If you agree to it, and that's the, when's your next, do you go monthly or bi?
Yeah.
One, every
Yeah.
month.
Every month? So, so if you,
So,
so that'd have to be the, I'm sure, so if
Can you make it clear what you're actually raising? You're just raising the base?
yes. Well, the first
So-
3,000 gallons.
Yes. So you're getting it from everybody, so if I use double that, I'm not paying for the pumps and everything up there to run anymore.
You're-
I'm just throwing this out because the high water usage people aren't paying nowhere near what the pastor does at her house for using
This is for the
3,000 gallons.
minimum, the minimum base rate.
Everybody pays that.
Everybody pays that.
But the ones that use the more water aren't getting any more of a raise,
right.
is what I'm saying. I'm thinking it should be,
Across the board.
if it's $10 for 1,000 gallons of water, it's $10 for 1,000 gallons of water. So if you use 25,000 gallons of water, you get paid, charged 25 times 10. Now, it wouldn't be that way. The ones that are getting charged the lowest, the ones that are just using minimum, are getting a heavier hit than the one that's using more water. And the more water that's being used, that plant is being worked harder. So I'm subsidizing somebody else for using a lot of water.
The $7 per thousand gallons, or the 3,000, raise it to how much?
The 20%.
1%.
Maybe across the board.
I'll put that in there, you can always change the next meeting, you can always cross out. You should have something.
I mean, I'm not trying to throw a monkey wrench in this. I've always thought that's been a bad deal for the person that doesn't use much water.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so that's, and
So Bill, you had mentioned,
And then we'll do the automatic, you want to do the automatic?
that, yes, that's what
I
you
sent
said.
that down. So it's just an annual increase of 3% unless the board waives it.
Okay, well, because I guess my problem with this is we're still gonna be losing money. So I don't know how we stop that,
Well, I mean, you're supposed to pay for the tax,
and it doesn't.
Right.
So,
That's why I suggested 60. I was just trying to stop us from losing money every month. And I get that it's a hardship. I'm paying it too. So I mean, it is
$60? That's what you said?
up to, you're already paying,
Paying 36.
Yeah. so. I don't know how to stop us from losing money every month, other than to increase.
What's the point where you start losing money? Is that the 60?
No, that would actually, we would be making a little bit of money, because at some point, we have a loan payment that's due.
Sure.
and you should have reserves. You should have reserves for repairs, maintenance, et cetera.
Right.
Okay.
Close down reserves. Used to.
Used to.
Well, think about the number, at least you'll have the
Real
ordinance.
quickly, on this booklet here, the village of Elyria, there's actually a computing, 836, section D.
It's on 813, section C is where the rates are.
That also gives you a formula based on, charges will be based on water usage as reported by water meters.
And then in 813C, it tells you how much then based upon that you pay.
So realistically, why, instead of, like Danny said, maybe we don't raise the base rate quite as much, but we raise the people that use more, because like he said, it's using more. So Carrie, I'm sure you don't use nothing, so yours would be just be the same, it'd be a flat rate. But unfortunately, Tim has a pool. Sorry, you just were there. Oh, I didn't know that. There- So, I mean, it's like
Kids
here.
in the shower every day too.
I think there's very few that go.
So, I guess I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that somehow we have to stop losing money.
Jack, can I ask Floyd's input, since he's got his hand up, he has input.
Could I kick in something, please, Jack? We pay $95,000, just under that a year for this loan repayment, correct, Pam?
I'd have to look at it.
Well,
Numbers in front of me.
It's just under. So, how many water customers do we have? We could just say around 400, correct? Right?
Yeah.
So that loan payment alone is eating almost $20 every month of what you're charging for water. That other $18 we're making, or $15, or whatever it is, that's all we have to repair our system, pay our employees, pay their benefits, buy chemicals, all of that. Now again, Willard Van Zuden had wanted to increase this $27 beginning in, I think it was 2016, I might have my years wrong. He said that we're gonna have this new well dug, and we need to raise our rates $27. He wanted to do it in $9 increments, I believe it was. He did it once. A few months later, he passed away. Mark Udi took over that position. Mark Udi made a motion to raise it $9, and it died at that point. No one ever raised it, that final $9, back in 2018, like it was supposed to have been. Now, I didn't learn that till just a few months ago. So there's already $9 we all should have been paying. That's base rate. As far as the overage, you guys are gonna have to determine that, but as a base rate, almost $20 of everybody's monthly payment for minimum usage is going strictly for that loan. And you're losing $70,000+ a year that began last year at $34,000 the first year, 70-some thousand last year, and you're on track to lose another 70 grand this year.
Actually, I think we're doing better than that.
Pardon me?
But I think we went over, we were actually doing better than that.
Doing better than what?
Still losing, but we weren't quite at the point where it's.
Well, last number I have is $38,000 in the hole, and that was as of September 30th of '25. So I don't know what you're looking at, but
What's the loan for the one by the park?
Yes. And I think there was a lot of work involved in that. I think there was piping ran up Albany Road or something. I think there was a lot of, it wasn't just there, but it was for that project, yes. So again, we owe another 16 years on that. I feel bad for you because of raising rates for sewer and whatnot as well. I mean, we do need to pull some money into this town somehow. Somehow. And we can't, certainly like Bill said, we need to at least, the department needs to at least support itself. And you need to have some money for parts, you know what I mean, pumps, costly things. And it's just not gonna solve itself at 20%, Pam, I'm sorry. A $7 raise is gonna help you, it's gonna lessen the bleeding, but you're still hemorrhaging. Thank you for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
So then what do you want to do as far as sewer? You wanted to raise sewer too?
They did it we did it last time.
You did it last
I
time?
thought we were talking about an ordinance. Didn't somebody send it to
I think he said he had a rough draft of the sewer.
Yeah, but I don't know what you want to raise it.
We weren't raising that again, were we? We were talking about raising that again.
Oh, I thought it said water.
I mean, I agree that.
It's a sewer, so it's just water.
After years and years of just handling it, all of a sudden, we just can put this on as like.
$4.95, we said for the sewer.
Yeah.
$4.95.
Now, do you want to raise garbage rates too? So we want to raise that to water.
So the garbage rates we're paying $20.03, we're losing money, we'd like to raise it 97 cents to 21.
Back up to the
For which one?
Garbage,
That's right, you're going to raise it 97 cents to
21.
21.
Back up to the water, are we leaving that alone or are we adjusting it?
I'm going to give you an ordinance to raise the water rates.
But I mean, the amount
The amount.
that we just discussed.
I was going to put 7%, and then you guys can just, could go raise 7%.
How do we,
And you can think about that in next meeting when you do it. You can, if it says a number and you want to raise it or change it, just cross it out and change it. And then pass it. It's okay. It says it in writing,
Is everybody cool?
then we'll adjust it. So you got it.
Officially decide the number next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're raising water, garbage, not sewer. Right?
Yeah, sewer,
You already did sewer,
but you weren't here.
but you have an ordinance draft, you said, for that.
I didn't prepare an ordinance to raise
Was it
sewer.
475 or 495?
It's $4.95.
We got to have an ordinance down there.
Right, no.
Because it's 20th, right?
What they
Okay.
said, so you can
495.
take care of that.
Okay, yeah.
So can you do it for all three?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what
97 cents, let's go back to garbage now. That,
We're making-
are we losing?
We're not making like anything on garbage.
And you're not supposed to.
We are losing our garbage, yes.
Okay.
Even with the
I mean, that was,
No, not with the 97.
okay. Contract was in November, I think, wasn't it?
This was put us ahead over there.
So Bill, you'll be drafting the ordinance for all three?
Yeah, there'll be two sets.
Is there more input from the back? I mean, like, I feel like the residents have something to say. There's a lot of chatter back there. I'm real curious to know what.
Can we discuss things amongst ourselves, please?
Oh, I know, I'm asking, I'm generally curious. I'd like to know like what the input is.
I have something to say, if you want me to.
No, I'm genuinely.
You want my input?
No, I'm honestly asking, yeah, that's what.
Okay. Well, you're not supposed to make money off garbage,
Okay.
because there's nowhere to spend it.
Right, we're not in the garbage business.
Yeah. So you're not supposed to make money.
That's why I said, we're supposed to break even, yeah.
We were now we're breaking even.
I didn't know that, that's why I asked. I appreciate it.
I have one other thought. If I understand everything that's going on, it would make sense to me to raise it even more, because apparently we're gonna be paying a lot more later. And if you saved that money, you would be chopping off some of that loan and saving a little bit of interest.
I don't think we can do anything until we pull the trigger.
But you can't create reserves. When
But you
you
could,
build the
yeah.
water tower at FEMA or Farm Home Industry, they made you raise your rate significantly. And you had to put money away for the replacement fund, money away for the maintenance fund, money for the repair fund. So as things happen, you got the money.
I'm just saying if you,
That's-
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, a lot of them for loan require that.
If you had a little bit of reserves and saved the money, then you
I
could
agree.
take a lesser amount on loan. But it might not be worth it, or it might not be a lot, but instead of raising it, it just makes sense to me to save as much money as we could in order to pay for that.
So right now,
longest
all
loan.
three will be going up $14 or $15. So what are you suggesting we ask for them to pay
Well,
now?
first, I think Teresa's point is well taken. It has to pay for itself, period. It just, whatever the rate is, it's gotta pay for itself. That's ridiculous to lose that amount of money.
So she said 60.
Whatever it takes, it needs to be covered, right?
So your base water rate then would be 60.
Is that what it would take?
That's what they
That, I think that was a little cushion, a little,
We had a number before.
I was just trying to at least get us
You mentioned in
to,
one of the meetings prior, I don't remember what
I
was
don't
the number
remember.
the
before?
thing is,
I sent all of you an email.
No, I know, but what was the number? I don't remember what it was.
$20, you'll be making a little money.
That's right.
We raised
and this was less than $20.
You increased it 20, but I'm not talking for like the car wash and the high usage users, I'm talking for the general public.
Right.
Okay, so, I don't know how many high users we have, I honestly don't.
Either way,
Well, I can tell you, there's
People are not
only
gonna
two of
have-
us in my house, and we use right at 3,000 gallons. So everybody else is gonna be above that. I mean, anybody that's got kids.
right.
I mean, anybody that's got kids, it's gonna be
Doing
over 3,000.
laundry, doing 6 loads of laundry
And that
versus
puts
3.
more, that
Yeah.
puts more strain on
You
the
betcha.
water plant than my for 3,000. Because once my 3,000 is paid for, the rest of the stress on that plant is everybody else. And I've always felt that they always got a better deal than what I did.
So we've established we don't know how many high users we have in the village of Albany. So that's just one thing that a municipal advisor can help with. I know nobody seems to agree with me on that, but
Isn't that in your records?
Yeah, that would be,
Jackie
Every
has that
month.
information.
yeah, every month that gets put on the computer.
On the high, really?
Anybody
On
over
the high
minimum?
user, he's
Yes.
talking about,
Angie has it.
yes,
again, I didn't know that, Angie.
Anybody over minimum.
yes, she has it. You were talking about figuring these numbers out correctly,
Yes,
not just
that's what I meant.
taking this amount with this amount, dividing it here, and this is what our magic number is.
Just flat rate.
Yeah, so you can make those ordinances up, we can figure out what we
And I'll
want,
put a
and
number in,
then,
and we don't, and it'll be a blank one, so you don't like it, you can fill it in, you can write it in, so
Perfect.
pass it. And then I just,
So we can pick the exact number that's gonna make us break even in next
but you
year.
have some time to think about it.
Yeah. But the 97 cents will make us break even, Pam?
no, we would go a little bit ahead. So we'll work on that one too.
Okay.
Haven't got anything else.
All I wanted to say on here was after Nick talked, I just wanted to say, I personally think he's doing a good job. I wanted to get that out there. He's underpaid. Do you have something to say?
I didn't say anything.
He went,
I did not.
okay.
That wasn't Teresa.
Well, somebody went,
Okay, and say it was not me.
I just wanted to put that out there. I'm gonna give it my 2 cents, and there it is.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Police department? Tim?
We're gonna hold off on that until next meeting.
Easy enough. Purchase the police vehicle.
I don't even know, we can't be any worse.
We gotta look at something before we talk about it.
Streets, sidewalks, alleys.
I don't know how that ended up in my department, I didn't put that on there, so I'm not even sure what's
I
for.
might have accidentally put it in there or somebody else's.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the one that they talked about earlier. Street sign.
And in regard to the stop sign, I did screw up on that. I admit, I made a mistake.
Yeah, it's over.
I know what I'm saying, I didn't realize, I made a human error and forgot about that meeting where Jerry mentioned the traffic commission board. So I didn't even think about that when I talked to
I forgot about it
our
too.
public works director about signs on streets being in my department. So I apologize. When I was made aware that I made a mistake, I asked Nick, I told Nick what had happened. I called Jack, I called Tim, I called Chief, and I said, I made a mistake. I said, you can have them pull them both out, you guys can make the decision. It sounds like that's what happened. So I just wanted to apologize for that.
Cemeteries and parks.
The first one is the siren. And don't we have to sign that every year,
If
the contract?
we do, I made a motion for it,
Oh.
60101.
I was trying to pull up the amount, but
That's just one sign, is that correct?
That's all the different sirens set out.
In the village area property or county or?
So
I'm not sure how many exactly we have, but that's so that they can
Oh, yes.
do maintenance.
Yep.
So it's 601 per siren or for the whole?
No.
Correct,
Total.
no, it's it, that's our contract.
I think that's right. I saw that.
no, I got it.
Oh,
We all got it.
Yeah, I think she sent it, yeah.
Okay.
Just need to authorize the mayor to sign it,
Yeah.
unless you already have it. Do you have that?
Should it just give,
And that's for like
Should it
severe
just-
weather, is that what they're for?
Oh, they put them off for severe weather, but if there's a nuclear disaster or anything like that, that's kind of a civil defense.
Oh, okay.
Sirens.
Write that out, so.
You just have, it's the same tone, it's just you have to figure out what civil defense.
We don't put them off, county puts them off.
does it have to be given the permission?
And where's ours at? School?
If you want to just say, give
I'm not really sure where they're on that.
Authorizing the mayor to sign.
Fire station, I believe. Yeah, there's one of those fire stations. There's fire stations themselves. I don't know.
Fire station's the fire station. The one that the city's got is up in the municipal building.
Okay, so that was my next
Maintenance
question.
building. City siren that-
But the one on top of the fire station, is that right? The fire station, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that was my next question, was should they share any cost of that since there's a siren there, but that's theirs?
that used to get put up every Tuesday night for their meetings. Even if it
One
was,
at the fire station.
they kind of go there.
Right.
They don't really move anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know how big it was, that's why I asked.
Yeah,
It's right there. It's loud.
Have a motion by Priscilla to approve Fulton siren contract not to exceed 60101. Authorize the mayor to sign contract as second.
I'll second it.
Russell,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Carried.
The water rates obviously already been talked about, the business parties. Did anybody have a chance to look at the employee handbook? Do you want to just keep that on there? And see,
I need just a copy of what changes you've made.
we haven't made any changes.
We've made a few over the last several months. Anything that you change in the employee manual, you need to revise it.
What did we change? I mean,
There were couple motions.
okay.
Things have changed.
We didn't get new handbooks, something changed anything.
I know, that's what you need to do, change it.
That's the
So,
one.
look back at the number. Full accounts and motions. and
You're
everything.
good on it because
I get it.
it was a mistake, the old one is no longer.
Yeah, the petition, federal holidays, things.
Well, that was on the agenda, but that was never voted on.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
I don't remember voting on it.
Okay.
We didn't.
But anyway, I do think there's some things that we need to tweak. I said it before, and obviously nobody's ready to tweak anything, so
Well-
if we can keep it on the agenda. Do you
There's
have
things
things
that he,
Yeah, I'm not quite sure who made these policies.
This was just in my thing.
Yeah, I
Who
just.
made these, type these things up?
Oh,
This is originally goes back to Mayor, let's see. It's a standard, yeah, I just, you read these, they're very common.
So this is the old one?
It's very difficult, because there's no date on it, because you don't know which one's the old one, which one's the new one.
I'll tell you, which one's the current one. I see both.
So the old one.
this is 2.0 is the new one, right?
tomorrow.
Yeah, voted April 7th, 2025.
The one that says 1.1 is the old one.
Well, like I said, I do feel like there's some things that we need to look at.
2.0.
This is
Yeah, there's a date on it, so I really wouldn't know. I'm trying to do the chair here.
You probably just need to go in the office and do a current.
Well, I did, I got it, and it's not much better, I don't think.
That's the old one, she just handed out today.
Yeah.
That's old.
It's version 2.0 is the one.
Yeah, this one's old, the new one is 1.0. This is a-
So everybody should look at old and new and see what we need to tweak? Or else just go back to the old one?
This is the reference, this is the reference.
Right.
Okay.
Well, in the new one here, 1.2, this handbook replaces any previous issued policies.
Right.
So these
They're
are
all
the old
repealed.
ones.
All the old ones are repealed.
So hours, safety, all this is just gone there, right?
Well, that's why we need to tweak it, Josh.
Just employee manuals, it referenced in the old employee manual has been repealed.
Okay. But it is difficult, it should have a date on some of the old ones, because we'll assume that this is going to become an old one, and we need to have some kind of dates.
I don't know what dates they passed.
And
There's a date on it, Chuck, on the new one?
The new one.
Not the old one.
Nothing.
Oh, not the old one.
I think the old one.
Shred it.
Well, there's things in the old one that are
Yeah,
better
some
than
of
the
them,
new
you
one.
have to look at, them, I want to keep. Some of them are real good, some are safety.
So she's gonna put that on next time?
Yes, we can do that on there, please.
Anything else, Trish?
No, not right now.
Or the health? Nope. Jason, housing gay.
I'm not gonna waste my breath tonight, I'll wait till the next meeting.
Joyce Kegley?
I noticed you hired Mitch tonight as sexton. Who's been doing it prior to Nick since Jerry was the mayor and used to do it?
Right.
Prior to Jerry doing it.
No,
prior-
after Jerry.
prior-
Oh, after
Prior to
Jerry.
Mitch.
Kind of the maintenance guys.
And they were doing it on their regular routine maintenance job? Is that causing a problem that they, I mean, it can't be that many graves. I don't know.
My opinion on it, it's a big deal. if something gets messed up, if somebody gets buried in the wrong spot, or something happens, there's gonna be somebody held responsible. And we haven't had a sexton for, what, 6 years, 5 years, whatever, and I think we need that back.
I know, speaking of problems, when Susie was here, some family that their loved one had died and was buried up there, never put a headstone. They live out of state, and they wanted that burial ground dug up so they could take the person home. So, who's looking for it? Because couldn't read that crap, save our soul, and there was no marker. So that was,
Take responsibility.
it was hard to find it. And I said, well, does it have one of those little cardboard things? Because when we cleaned the cemetery up, we found a bunch of those, and that's where it was.
So is he gonna be doing it while he's on the job? Or is it gonna be separate?
Well, if we're raising his
That's what they're gonna
pay,
determine next
it
week.
has to be,
That's just it, you have to determine.
Because even if he does it-
When he can do it,
So they raise an hourly rate, he can do it while he's on the clock.
He's still gonna be on the
well,
payroll.
that's what I'm saying, we have to decide whether,
That's why she's asking.
I said paying her separately, because then you have to do it, right?
he would have to do it after work hours, absolutely.
Yeah, he can do it. So we didn't.
If we're paying him,
It's totally up to you.
Right.
You can still pay him then during the day if that's what you want, but it's totally up to the board to establish.
so then he would be getting his pay and he'd be getting, so say just $50, I did.
He can do it either way. He gets paid something for being sexton plus his regular wages, or he can raise his regular wages and add in his job as sexton. That's what you can.
So we need to decide whether he's gonna do it during business hours.
Mhm. He can do it. Much hours? I don't know how much time it is.
It just depends.
But yeah. Joyce, did you have anything else?
Anything else, Troy?
Thank you.
Angie Ryder?
Yes, I have a concern, especially because we're talking about all this water, raising rates. I understand that there are 70 water meters in this town that are broken. That is unacceptable. 70 water meters. That means 70 people are not paying the right amount of money. It's only being estimated. And how long this has been going on, I have no idea. But you're raising our rates, and these people aren't paying. That's about, if just a little rough math, because I don't have anybody here to tell me how many people we have, but let's say 400 people. So you take 400 people, and 70 aren't, so that's about 16% of people not. And a broken meter, and this is on the low side, about $300. So you take 300 times 70, that's $21,000. This is unacceptable. We're supposed to be running a water plant. And this the only way we get money for the water plant is for billing people. So I'm talking 911. Tomorrow morning, somebody should be on the phone with Ferguson, who we buy them from. They should be in here and they should be figuring out why we have 70 broken meters to begin with. And are they doing their software updates? Has Nick done his software update on his laptop that he goes around and does? Because that could be a real issue. Is there a problem between the signal and locust? That could be a problem. Who's looking into this stuff? And why isn't this 911? You're supposed to be bringing this money in, and you're gonna raise our rates. You're losing money. You can't be losing money.
meter's been broke?
I don't even know, for a long time from what I've been told.
I had it down to nothing.
Many years.
There is now 70 broken meters right now.
Nick told me there was 46.
Even
And he was
46,
working-
I don't care how many.
understand.
And he is working
I understand. He told me he was working on it, so.
So that 46.
Working at it.
The last 8 months?
We gotta let Angie finish her 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not happy about that because it never should be like that. And I'm sure there's a big blame game going on who is responsible for this, but somebody needs to be written up for it. Somebody needs to take responsibility and be accountable
That's the first thing.
for their job, because that's the only way we're getting money in this town is by our water rates, for our water department. It needs to be taken care of.
Well, I would call, when we had some broken meters before, I called, when I was maintenance, I called the people and set up times for Mike and them to go, and they whipped out two a day. You know, I'd set up times with people when they're home, because you have to be able to get in, and that was a hang up
Well, I
with a lot of
understand
them.
all that. I understand all of that.
And we had it down to nothing.
Right. And that's where it should be.
And it's back down. Mike had ordered new meters, and some of them could have had replacement parts, but we
Yeah.
have meters now.
Yep.
And
Mike did or Nick did?
Mike did.
Oh,
This has gone back then, and now Nick has found out and he's working on it. He has worked on Neptune, Nick had their,
so the meters have been there since Mike was here?
yeah, he's been doing this stuff, yeah, for a long, it's been going on for a long time. But I don't know who's supposed to be taking care of it. I mean, I know you were doing the stuff, and I don't know.
Nick is supposed to be taking care of it. That's just, he runs the water plant, right?
If he gets the notification that it's not reading
Well,
correctly.
then who's not doing it?
I
Who's-
tried somebody who didn't have training.
And whose fault is that?
Not mine.
So.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
All right, that's enough.
I don't know how you get it's my fault that we don't have somebody that has to be trained, or that needs.
I can't talk anymore because my time's up.
You're right, it is.
And so is yours.
No, it's really
Who
not.
does the reports, or who, what's the first line of figuring out who's broken and not reading right?
All right, let's stop right there. The meter's not broken, it's non-registering. It's still classic water.
Right, I'm
But we
saying-
just don't know the amount of that. She's right, you could even fill the swimming pool up with it.
Right, my question is, who's the first person to figure out that it's not reading right?
I would say probably meter reader. Yes.
No, no, it's not the meter reader.
It's the billing clerk.
That's what I'm saying.
The billing clerk.
Okay.
It used to be, how we used to read meters, is I would physically go around and read meters. So that would be my problem. Now it's all done on computer.
It's automated read.
Yes, the person that's going around with the computer has no idea.
You had to go into people's houses once a month?
No, it was a badger.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
we'd have to go to the back of their house and read the meter, yes.
I'm not playing blame game, I'm saying, so if the billing clerk's the one that gets the first notification that's not reading, we've struggled mightily in billing clerk issues, and we flip-flop billing clerk to treasurer. I just feel like this is, you know, I don't want to point your fingers at all, I'm just saying.
No, you're exactly
This
correct.
can be fixed, but it seems like it's more of an oversight than it is to put it all on one person.
And Angie would know, because she did it.
That's
for a long time.
that's why I asked you, the
And
first person that knows, is it somebody in the office to go?
if you're not looking for it specifically,
And they do.
different numbers, you're not, you're just gonna.
You get a report every,
Yeah.
what,
Right.
that's how you know it.
So billing clerk gets a report, she's supposed to report to the maintenance department, right?
Yes.
So all the changes we've had, those the different seats between the billing clerk and the treasurer and
Well,
the maintenance department, I mean, I
Then
just,
get some good training in there. That's what you need to
no,
do.
I'm just saying,
It should
Hire
have never
people
got
who
that high, though.
understand
that's
what
what I'm
the
saying,
job
I should
is.
have never, you know.
Okay.
No,
So-
I mean 5 or 10, but it should never have gotten to that high a point without somebody calling people and asking, can we go in and check your meters? Because some of them are reading wrong, and
Or not at all.
yeah, not at all. Yeah, because some of them was the exact same every month, and I'm like, oh, that's sketch.
If they're broken, they're not reading. If they're broke, they're broke. They don't give you a reading. They
Or they're
don't,
broke.
because the water's, that's not being metered going in.
Correct, it's
So-
not.
So you have no idea.
It's
You have to
it's called a non-registering, it's not registering.
Right,
how much-
Right.
exactly.
And
Okay,
then
that's
you have
right,
to-
you got that down. How do you fix it?
How do you?
How do you fix
You
that
change your meter.
Change the whole meter or just change the
No,
head?
just change the head.
Change the head, there you go. That's a Neptune T10 meter. 3/4 in, 3/4 out. Okay, I understand. She's right, yeah, you're gonna lose revenue with it. It's no different than turning the water faucet on in the park, I just love it.
Well, then you need to set up, tell the guys to set up time every day to go fix it
I think they have been doing that
every day.
since this came to light.
And they're changing the meter or just the head?
I do know that.
I think just the head if they can.
Thank you, Jack. And thank you. First off, you might want to order a bunch of slow children at play signs, chief, because I think we can use them all over this town. not just on one corner, okay? Secondly, I didn't want to dive into this, but I'm absolutely going to. I think it's terrible that Nick put you on the spot to answer a question, and I think it's even worse that you answered that question, Chief. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. Teresa Hutton's guilty of doing her job. That's what she's guilty of. She's questioning time cards, comp time, I don't know how in the hell that's working. Closing shop early every Friday, raising the daily limit from 200 to 1,000, finding charges on the credit card for a new K-Cup machine and $90 worth of K-Cup coffee. The inventor of K-Cup won't use it because it's wasteful and it's expensive, but the taxpayers are paying for that. All right, Jack, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I do have respect for you, but I'm going to point this out because you let that take place in the meeting that you're the presiding officer. You yourself told me that Nick would not talk to you, that he would not return your calls or your texts. You went up to the village to talk to him. When he saw you, he waved you off, got in his truck and left. I didn't ask you this, you shared this with me.
Yeah.
You said that he does not do what you asked him to do. He said that you are not his boss. And that you've asked him to come to more than 2 meetings and he just doesn't show up. Along with that, Pam, you have a long history of wanting to keep employees that are terrible for this town. You allowed somebody in that office, you want me to go on? You allowed people in that office to not balance books for 9 months, and I'm begging because I have to do a budget, I have to make a budget by law. Books haven't been budgeted in 9 months. The treasurer before that, who people were saying should have sued us for wrongful termination, she was hiding bank statements. I have emails where she shared that she wasn't going to give me bank statements because they have nothing to do with writing a budget. Well, how the hell do you write a budget if you don't know how much money you have? That's the silliness I put up with. The first year I did a budget, I'd never done one before, I asked Angie here to help because she'd been a part of it. That made the treasurer at the time mad. That treasurer had never written a budget. I leaned on the person that had. The second year we had the treasurer that wouldn't give me the bank statements. The third year we had the one that didn't enter any revenue for 9 months. The fourth one was Susie Griffiths, and that's the easiest budget I ever had to write. You have a long history of doing this, watching out for your people, regardless of how good they are for this village, and that's a shame. Thank you.
Thank you, Floyd.
I would beg to differ. I feel like we need to work on getting employees to do their thing instead of just nagging them and getting them, whatever.
Are we having a conversation? Because I'll continue.
No, it's my turn.
And I will too, Motormouth.
Go ahead.
Stop.
So,
There's no reason to act that way.
there you go, stop there.
Stop it, yeah.
Everybody's been chiming in.
I know, but
Nobody's been calling names.
Hey.
You want to point the finger and you keep calling everybody out. But you were on this board for 4 years. And now you want this board to make up for all the lacking of the last 4 years.
What was lacked?
Why wasn't those 70 meters
Yeah.
fixed during the last war?
They were.
They were fixed. You just heard that.
So it just happened overnight?
All right, stop.
All right, so now,
Let me finish. But with the budget, we're down this much money, we're hemorrhaging this much money. This didn't happen today, yesterday, the day before. But now all of a sudden you just keep pointing your finger.
You're right, Pam, and that's because the people in the office weren't giving me numbers. Aaron, you know that? Pam, you know it?
Right.
Teresa, you know it?
Floyd.
Terry, you know it. That happened.
Was that the last of it?
Chelsea Holcomb?
She left.
She lives.
Did she leave? Oh, she did come in.
New business.
Jack, I got something, I didn't sign up because I didn't realize you were gonna talk about this, but why are we paying for a siren up here?
Or what?
We have to pay part of it in our area. It's just like everybody else in their areas have to pay.
No, we're different. We're within 25 miles of the new plant. That
Well,
siren,
this has been in effect for a long, long time.
well, I know, but that's why I'm wondering, why are we paying that money? The new plant should be paying that. They have to have a siren
Well, I don't know, some-
at one time. Now, I'm not 100% sure if it's still 25 miles, but a certain distance away from that new plant, they have to have sirens out for a warning for their new plant.
But they don't go off probably at the new plant for a tornado, right?
Right, that's
Right.
what's setting them off for that stuff.
But the county's always set them. Even the new plant would call them to have them set the
For a
siren.
tornado?
Yes.
No, no,
They set it off.
if there was a problem at the new plant,
Yeah,
that's what
so-
you were asking about. If there was a problem at the new plant, they would call Whiteside County, and the county would set the sirens
And so
off.
if there's a tornado and we don't have a siren,
But
if we
I'm
don't pay
saying,
for it.
I'm saying that siren should be up there.
Who sets it off then?
Because we're within 25 miles of new plant,
who sets it off then?
the county. So I just told you.
Oh.
that-
Danny, let me look into it. I just know we've had this, it's been on.
I mean,
for a
because
long time.
these sirens are not only in Albany, but they're also in Comanche. Within 25 miles of that new plant there's supposed to be a siren, a warning siren.
That'd be good if we could say something.
There's one at the intersection of Sand Road near Albany.
Right, so it's within 25 miles, and everybody's gotta be able to hear that siren.
Yeah. Let me look into it. I'll make some calls tomorrow. Actually, we'll be here doing some stuff for, as.
I mean, that's the way it used to be, Pam. I'm not saying that's the way it is now, because I don't know, but it
Yeah, I
used
just
to be.
know what's in, I've been.
I mean, like,
we've
the
had
Fulton
that.
siren, they would have to pay for their own siren, because
They're
they're
too
more
far from the
than
new plant.
the mileage. It's a circle, and you got maps right up there that show it,
Correct,
from ESDA.
yeah.
ESDA's the one that actually pays for the sirens.
Well, we're doing a little thing here tomorrow for, that's done. I will look into it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That'd save us some money.
That's Laura.
So Nick stood up and said this, all this stuff, but all I heard was some mumbling up there, and I have no idea what you guys are gonna do, and Nick don't know, there was no response to him. Could you let me know what you guys are, what's your plan? Are you gonna talk about this in a closed meeting? Are you,
Usually closed session is employment of employees.
so that's what you're gonna do?
Okay.
That's your first
Nick is
plan?
upset because people drive by to find his hours. They're going through.
No, I heard what he said.
Okay, so it's an issue, and he wanted it to be known as an issue. So. That's where we're at with it.
Well, I didn't know what you were gonna do with it, it was just mumbling and silence. So I would like more communication back to the audience about, we're gonna take this into closed session. Maybe it's obvious to you, but
Yeah.
out here, there's often mumbling, and we don't know what the final plan is, or who is gonna take responsibility for different things.
Well,
That's all I have.
One thing that he brought up was looking at the bills. Those used to be sitting out here every meeting. And we looked through them every meeting.
And we approved them.
Time card receipts.
Yeah, that was all out here every meeting. They haven't been for 6 months or more. So I don't know why we stopped doing that.
It was always before where they were in here, and then,
I don't know who put them out here, but they were always out here every
I was
meeting.
gonna say, I'm pretty sure the treasurer's the one supposed to be doing that.
Well, they used to come to the meeting too, the treasurer.
I asked that at the beginning, nobody answered me. Are we going to get the treasurer to come to this, one of these meetings, so we can get some clarity on things we might have questions about?
Are we doing, what are we doing? Are we doing new business or what, are we still
We're at the
discussing?
business.
Are we doing new
We're at the
business?
new business.
Because it's not wrong, I'm able to look through
Oh, absolutely not.
receipts
That's your
or
responsibility
bills.
to do that.
But he knew that an issue. That was one of his points of contention, is they were looking through the bills.
That's our job.
That is
been done for years.
So that's not a
The
big deal.
timesheets, I'll say up front, I have a problem with paying Janet 2 hours to come in here and go through that kind of stuff.
We didn't.
That she is getting paid for that.
Oh, well, she told me that she didn't want it, so.
Well, she
That's up to you.
told us that she did,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Anytime you're doing reverse,
New business? Old business?
I have something for new business, please. I feel like, obviously, I'm the bad guy, but I also feel like I'm also being targeted. So I want you to look at this picture. Most important is the date on the top, but the truck in the background is good too. So May of 23, you probably don't need to see it. So May of 23, this is my house with a truck in the driveway.
Sure. That's your house?
That's my house.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that's 2023?
This picture is, I Googled something up in Chicago, and then this picture came up, and I thought, oh, I could use that, because I was visited by the chief the other day, Friday, and he told me that there was a complaint filed about my husband's truck sitting in our driveway. We bought the truck in 2019. It's a plow truck. It's fully licensed, it's fully insured, it's in my driveway. We moved it, I'm sure you've seen that. So, I don't feel like, this hasn't been a problem from 2019 until Friday. So if, I don't know who filed the complaint. I do know that one of you were driving past my house that morning. Friend of mine seen ya.
Who's that?
Check. So the thing is, you guys act like I'm the one that's doing everything wrong. I'm really not. But like I said, I don't understand how from 2019 to last Friday, my vehicle was a problem all of a sudden. And I just think everyone should know that. That they are not, I am the bad guy, I guess, but I'm not trying to be.
Chief, you have other
We
complaints?
all took an oath.
What's that?
We,
Have you had other complaints? Is this something that's,
Yeah, I dealt with like 4 other ones the week before.
so, but I'm just saying, we all took an oath. We're all supposed to be watching out for the village. That's all I'm trying to do. And now they're gonna come after me, which is fine. You know, if that makes you guys feel good, more power to you. I just think people should know that you gotta watch what you're doing, because it'll come back to haunt you. And like I said, we all took this oath. We are all supposed to be watching out for the village's money, how it's being spent.
And things that need to be done, taken care of, we're all in that. People voted us in to do that. We can communicate
But
back and forth together.
I question it, and then I'm the bad guy. So. That's all I have, thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Old business?
MSA came out and met with Nick, and I missed the meeting, but it was Nick and Jason Snyder and Jared Fluor and Jack. They are moving forward on the Church Street and the streetscape stuff. It's going slow, but they're moving forward with it. They sent a bunch of stuff over, I'll have to send it over to you guys, but it's basically just talking about what they want to do, what the next steps are, stuff like that.
We did get part of our money from one of the grants. So we can move forward with that.
I have a question for old business also. Do we have any indication on what's going on down here? Nothing? I wanted to ask them, but they got away from me.
Closed session?
I have their contact, if you want me to send it to you.
No, that's fine. I'd like to go into closed session.
What's the reason?
Employment of employees.
Gotta figure that in.
So,